Hey guys, I'm Cameron, and I'm going to be going over the 7-day, 6-night Tour du Mont Blanc camping schedule for you. I'm going to show you every single campsite that I used, where they are, and then give you a couple pointers at the end. So oftentimes your bus is going to drop you off in Chamonix. If you choose to camp in Chamonix, you can camp at Les Oroles. I'm going to try to pronounce everything correctly, but I'll probably get at least half of it wrong. You can also, if you'd like, start your hike in Les Ouches, in which case you could camp overnight at Camping Bellevue before starting your hike. So, starting from Les Ouches, you're going to do your hike. Here, there is a set of trams that you can see in red right in this zone. I got a late start, and so I ended up taking a tram to save myself a little bit of time that day. But you can take the tram, and then the tram will land you right in this area, and your first night will be spent at Bivouac Le Baume or Refuge de La Baume. It's a pretty nice little camping area right here. I don't think they let you set up your tent until about 7 p.m., maybe 7 or 9 p.m., something like that. But there's fresh water there, and then the refuge will serve dinner and have some food that you can buy if you want. If you choose to hike just a little past that with another fair bit of vert there, you can also camp at Lac Chauvet, which is a lake, and that's a little bit more wild camping. You'd have to filter your own water and stuff. So that is night one. So night one is going to be at Bivouac Le Baume. So after camping at Bivouac Le Baume, which is going to be right over here, you can work your way down and around. You can either take the high road or the low road. On the French and Italian border, you're going to come over the mountain pass. That mountain pass is called Col de la Zenne, which is your high point. And Col de la Zenne has an area on the east side that does allow some camping, as far as I understand. This was the only night that I camped that I wasn't 100% sure on whether or not I was obeying the rules, so I kind of found a little spot that was tucked away, and it worked out great. But you know that you're in the general vicinity when you see this little hut. So night two, you're going to be on the east side of Col de la Zenne, wild camping. So from that French-Italian border, you're going to hike the rest of the day through to Courmayeur. Courmayeur has a pretty steep descent coming into it. Again, you can take a series of trams to skip the whatever it is, 2,000 or 3,000 feet descent. I chose to do that. And then you can land in Courmayeur, which is a great place to kind of restock on supplies if you need to. Get yourself a pizza or whatever. I came in on a Sunday afternoon and everything was closed until 3. So plan that accordingly. But if you're staying in a hotel, it's a great place to stay. Otherwise, you can either hike or take the bus over to your next campsite from Courmayeur, right over here to Camping Grand Horaces. It's a pretty lively campsite. There's a lot of campers, like a lot of camper vans and families and things like that. But there's also a little store where you can buy yourself, again, pizza for dinner, get some drinks. So that is your night number 3. So from your night 3 campsite to the Swiss border is a bit of a hike. I do know of some people who went from the campsite and then took the bus as far as they could over into this area, this zone right here. Albergo Rista, whatever you call that. There it is if you're interested. And so you're going to take the big mountain pass up and over the Grand Col Ferret into Switzerland, which is a totally beautiful area. And then that is going to drop you into La Fouille to Camping des Glaciers. La Fouille is a pretty small town, but I think there is a grocery store and a couple little restaurants if you need something. So from your campsite in La Fouille, you're going to have your shortest day of hiking up to Champex. So this is all along the Switzerland side, and you're going to end up in Champex. You can go to Champex Loch, which is the lake that they have there. Beautiful. You can spend the afternoon swimming. You can get some food, restock on groceries, which were over here somewhere, and then land in Camping La Rocaille, I believe, is the pronunciation. It's a great little town. It's an expensive town because you're in Switzerland, but a really nice spot to kind of have a half day of hiking and stop there for a big day tomorrow. Speaking of the big day, there's not a ton of camping in Switzerland, and so what you're going to end up doing is going all the way from Champex all the way over back into France all in one day. You're going to take that trail from here up and around and down. There are some alternate routes in this zone, but you're going to end up camping back down in Camping du Glacier d'Argentière. It's another pretty busy campsite, a lot of car campers, a lot of camper vans, but there's going to be lots of places to eat here. You're kind of back into civilization at this point. So from Camping du Glacier d'Argentière, that is going to be your last night of camping officially on trail. From there, you can work your way up and hit the ladder section. So this is the name of the ladder section right here. So you can have that marked on your map there. The ladder section is really, it's not sketchy. I didn't think that I needed any kind of protection, but there were a couple people I was hiking with that day who were scared of heights. As you can see, it's a little airy. It is totally beautiful though. I really enjoyed it, and it's a fun way to kind of end your last day. So from the ladder section, you have the option to either continue that trail all the way back down to Les Ouches and skip Chamonix altogether, or you can just drop back down into Chamonix and kind of end your trail there. A lot of people do that. You can kind of end it with a little bit of shopping and get yourself a nice hotel or a bath or whatever it is that you need at the end of those 7 days. So again, the campsite that I stayed at in Chamonix was this one, Camping Les Auroles, and it's nice and close to the bus station if you are taking the bus back to the airport the next day. So a couple tips while you're doing the Tour du Mont Blanc. Number one, it is a very well-resourced trail. So you're not going to need a ton of water, you're not going to need a ton of food, and you don't need to carry as much weight as you think you will. If you want, you can check out my other video where I went over my pack. I did the entire trail, all 100 miles, and my pack was never more than like 18 pounds. So there's a lot of resources that you can use if you are willing to go lightweight. Some suggestions I have for you. If you know you're going to be getting in late, it's worth calling ahead into the campsites so that you can ensure that you have a spot. And their English is pretty good if you're an English speaker like me. Other suggestions, I would say there's like a Chamonix bus app, I believe, if I recall correctly. And that way you can just pay for your bus tickets on the app and you don't have to worry about any kind of cash or coin transactions. Now, one last thing I'll say about the trail is that it is not as wild as a lot of us might be used to who are used to hiking in the US. Every day you're going to be hiking through towns, whether big or small. There's going to be sections where you're alone, where you might be lucky enough to go alone, and there's going to be a lot of sections where there's a lot of people. And so it's something to expect. It's just a different style of hiking. Again, it's really nice because there's lots of resources, but if you're looking for a truly wild experience, you might look into something like the Alta Villas or something that's just a little different than this. Because while you're going to have incredible moments in nature and there's going to be some totally amazing views to look at, you will also find that there's going to be times where you wish there were fewer cars around you. So I'll leave it at that, guys. It's a totally beautiful trail. I highly suggest it. If you've got a week and a couple $100 to throw at this, I think it's well worth your time. I felt like 7 days was perfect. It was a perfect amount of time on trail. There were some long days, some short days, and I was able to do it and feel really, really strong and healthy the whole time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and got something out of it, got a feel for exactly where you're going to be, where you can camp, where you can't camp. There are a lot of regulations around camping in Europe, and so I would highly recommend that you pay a lot of attention to those regulations. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy it. See you later.